Thanks, Renee. It's really good stuff.
You're right.
Right? Yeah.
I thought I could eat just one, but nah, man, these things are kind of addictive.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Let me get another one really quick. So good. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate it. Let me put my $20 bill down. Welcome to Toad House. Podcast about nothing and everything. Yeah, thanks for the coffee and the donuts.
Oh yeah, for
Super
sure.
good.
Yeah, right. You're right. I thought I could just eat one, but they're like those chips, right?
Oh yeah, you can't just have one, right? It's impossible. I know a couple of things that I can't just have one of.
Like what?
We'll keep that for another podcast.
Man, I just got called out on something. Because I don't know about you, but when I go to the bathroom like a urinal, I pull my pants all the way down.
And like you lift your shirt.
Well, I mean, I always thought, you're trying to pee, so obviously it's like a, water hose, right? And, if you're stepping on it or if it's
You pinch it.
pinch or if it's pulled up, you're messing with the flow. So I always thought, pull your underwear all the way down. That way it's a nice stream with no obstruction.
No interruptions.
And I was doing that. Somebody yelled at me like, pick your pants up. Nobody wants to see your butt. And I started paying attention. Yeah, everybody has their pants up. So I'm thinking like, how are they peeing, right?
All tight and constricted.
Yeah, like that must fuck you up.
If there's a place to show your butt, it's the fucking bathroom.
Yeah, I'm in the bathroom, right?
Right, like that's where you show your butt. It's fine.
Yeah, I thought everybody else was wrong. Like, how are you guys peeing like? Yeah, it's kind of funny. That, or how about if you fart in the bathroom?
Oh,
That's the place to do it.
To me, that's the place to do it.
Right.
Totally legal.
Totally legal, right? You can even just... I agree.
If I can shit in there, I can fart.
Yeah, for
Come
sure,
on, like,
right? That's...
Where else am I supposed to go?
Yeah, I agree.
Kitchen?
Yeah, it's funny because I was... just came from a little road trip and I was in Reno, Nevada, playing poker.
Reno.
Right. At the end of the trip, I was peeing, and it's probably like 3 a.m.
My pants were all the way down to my ankles.
Well, I didn't pull them down because it was all wet in there. And I'm peeing, and there's an old man peeing, and he says, "Oh, there must be a water leak." And I tell him, "I hope it's a water leak." And then he looks at me, he's like, "Oh, good point." And he bends down and touches the water. And
Taste it?
no, he smelled it, and he's like, "That's not water." And I'm thinking, why would you fucking do that, right?
You know what? I gotta admit, I'm a little bit guilty of that myself. So I have obviously my cats, right? And sometimes I'll leave I'll change and I'll fold my clothes and I put them somewhere. When I wake up, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put this shirt on, and I touch it and it's wet. And I'm like, oh man, did I spill something on it? Or did these guys fucking pee on it? So I smell it, and yeah, sure enough, yeah, that's not water.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
But not in a men's bathroom, like.
there's a water leak.
Yeah. I could definitely taste the what is it?
The Vigilios.
The Vigilios. The ammonia. Oh, that's brutal.
Right?
I remember being a little kid and my grandfather would take me to like the bathroom. He was buying beer, so we'd be like at the corner store. And he'd go to the bathroom, he'd be peeing in the urinal, and there's just one, and like a toilet. And then they had like a little drainage like hole, like almost like a shower in the middle of it. I don't know why, I guess for leaks and stuff. Yeah, just pee in there. Okay. And I would pee straight into the drain. Every time.
Oh, in the middle of the floor.
And then, in the middle of the floor, there's like a random drain, so I'd just be there with my dick out peeing.
Nice. Yeah, that's, I guess, yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that's for you. Go ahead. Cool.
But as a little kid, right, you'd pee with your pants all the way down? Or no? Or no?
I don't know. I think I would.
Yeah, and I never grew out of it. I thought like, oh yeah, it's free. There's no obstruction. The piece coming out nice.
Do you take your pants completely off to take a shit?
Oh yeah, I fold them up.
I hang them up on the door.
Isn't that what that little hook's for?
Ah, damn, you're living in 2029. Still back here in '03. I definitely have had it where I'm at a guest house or somewhere. It's not my house. And I have to take a shit. So I sit down, take a shit, and I realize like I can't open my legs all the way because there's like a tub and this and that's kind of small. So I'll take one leg out of my shorts and I put my leg in the tub so I get like full spread.
You turn on the water.
Oh yeah, for sure. That nice stream of water relaxes me.
You start looking through their stuff.
Oh yeah, you start reading the back of shampoo bottles. I go through their medicine cabinet. Oh man, I have a funny story that you don't know about.
Oh yeah, that's your.
So we play poker at your house. And we'll order food and we're all kind of in the moment and we're drinking coffee and smoking and we're kind of whatever. Number one of the times I remember being like, man, Renee, is it okay if I use your restroom? Yeah, for sure, man. It's right down the hall. So I go down the hall and I use the restroom and I had to shit. So I'm shitting, shorts off, one leg in the tub. And I'm like, oh, finally, and I hear you guys like, Xander, you got a deal. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. So I start picking my pants, and I flush, and it doesn't go down.
Oh, man, nice.
And I was like, no, not here, anywhere else, no. And I keep flushing.
Just stick your hand in there or what?
I stuck something in there.
Noah's toothbrush.
Noah's toothbrush was a perfect fit. And finally it all goes down and I was like, oh, I was sweating. Whew. Oh my God. And I come back out. Yeah, guys, ready to do it. And we wash my hands. Yeah, guys, I'm ready to deal. Let me get some of that brie cheese.
Nice.
No, but I did have an incident. But luckily I solved it. Everything was good.
Yeah, I think it's like these new toilets that are like water conservative where
yeah, they don't have that pressure, right? Though
they do kind of, but you have to hold. It's not like the old ones where you just do one flush and it flushes.
You have to hold it down.
You hold it down and then it'll kind of build the force. So if you don't know that, yeah, a small little flush like that, it's just gonna think it's like pee. And it'll just...
Yeah, and then your piece of shit comes back up, fucking floating around the bowl. And like, oh, man.
I remember one time a girl came to my apartment at the time. And she used the restroom, and then she was in there forever, and I guess she did the same thing. And... I mean, because I usually have a plunger. Like I do have a plunger. It's not in the restroom, but I do have one.
It's in the fridge.
Yeah, it's in the fridge. And I did have a plumber or a plunger. Man, I don't remember where it was, but she was talking to me through the bathroom like, "Hey, I need to call my dad." And I'm like, "Your dad? Why?" And she's like, "I clogged your toilet and I want him to come and unclog it." And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why? Like I said, that's more awkward. I don't want your dad walking in here unclogging my bathroom. I told her, I'll do it.
Daughter's shit. Yeah, like it's.
I said, I'll do it. She's like, no, I don't want you to see it. I'm like,
I already licked your asshole on the way here. What do you mean? Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'll just, I'll do it. Like, having your dad come here to do that.
That's way worse.
That's way worse. Right?
He called Jesus to clog my shit.
I said, unless he's a plumber.
Yeah. You know what, sir? Actually, the bathroom in the other room is also acting up.
But yeah, I think the plunger was in there, and I told her where it was, and I kind of gave her instructions on how to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I get it. Like, I don't. If I clogged your bathroom, I'd be embarrassed to be like, "Hey, Renee, fucking."
Yeah, there's a
who
plunger.
cares? Yeah, like it happens, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Who cares?
I've never done it, but yeah.
Don't be embarrassed. You never clog somebody's bathroom up? Oh, I've done it on multiple occasions.
No, not. Yeah, I only shit it in my house in here. I don't think I've ever taken a shit anywhere else.
There's a dude here. I'm not gonna say any names, but he'll go home to take a shit, and I'm like, dude, just shit here. Like, I don't who gives a fuck. Like, you're fine. Like, bathroom here has got nice pressure. You're good. No, I gotta go home. My uncle too. He works like way far from my house, like about as far as I live from here, and he'll come home just to take a shit, and then he'll drive back.
Oh man.
And I'm like, dude, just shit there. Like,
Yeah,
fuck 'em.
right.
Like, if it clogs, tell him, hey, that's.
You think
on
that's
you.
you think that's why they're? I doubt that's the reason.
I just think he feels weird shitting, right? Like, I don't know.
What's funny too is like on this trip, and I've noticed it before, and I noticed it again. It's like I don't know if I mentioned this. I know we've talked about it. I don't know if I talked about it on here, but like when you like usually when I travel, I like to fly super early. So you wake up at 5, 6, and your bowel movement isn't ready. And then sure enough, everybody goes to the airport. Everybody's drinking coffee, and then you get on the plane.
Man. And
then
then
the-
shit like a
So
fucking
as
monster.
soon as that first landing comes, everybody runs to the restroom, and there's a line. But the urinals are open, and people are like, "Oh, you can use the urinal," but everybody's like, "No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the fucking shitter."
You should have been like, thanks, man, and then just shit in the urinal. Oh,
Oh
thanks,
man,
brother.
yeah, and everybody's just waiting to take a shit, and you hear all kinds of
Noises.
nonsense going on in there.
Nonsense. You never ask under the stall, like, hey, man, you got any spare tissue? I'm out of paper back here.
But I will go in there with I'll take tissue from my house, some Charmin, some nice soft stuff,
Some nice 6-ply.
right?
I've never shit on a plane.
Oh, I've never shit on a plane either. But I mean at the airport when you land. Oh, shitting on the plane? Yeah, I've never.
Man, I've never even used a restroom on a plane. I wonder, I feel like that'd be awkward. Everybody's looking at you like you have a bomb. Huh? Fuck's this fucking brown guy going?
They got mad at me on the plane because
You didn't give a courtesy flush?
no, I usually like people take their snacks because I'm not going to eat at the airport. It's expensive. And usually when I fly, I like eating like sardines and
Eagle throat.
eagle throat. And I guess, the smell of
Grouper.
Yeah, anchovies. I like munching on garlics. Think that's
Just the worst stuff. Durian.
some durian fruit. Oh man.
Have you seen that one fish? It's kind of like anchovies or sardines, and they sell it in a can. I think it's German, and it's like notoriously stinky, like really bad. We're like,
Damn, what's this fish you speak of?
what is it called?
Kipper?
Not kipper. Starts with an S. Surströmming. Surströmming? Is that what it is?
Oh man, I've never heard of it.
I think it's called surströmming. I
Surströmming?
could be wrong. Surströmming on my phone. No.
Sturgeon?
And it's notoriously a really stinky fish that the right way to open it and prepare it is underwater, so you don't smell it.
Oh, nice.
Come a bit of juice. We're going to come some juice out of it, and this juice is foul smelling. So, but if you have it underwater, none of the juice will actually hit you, and the water will also contain the smell.
I think it's called surströmming, and yeah, it's like a notoriously smelly fish that
Nice. I'm going to get some for our trip to Vegas.
surströmming.
Nice.
The smelliest food in the world.
Nice. I'm down to eat that on the plane, right?
Right? Surströmming and durian. We're just shitting all night. Yeah, I've seen people open that one and like the whole block can smell it. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
It's
We
bad.
got to take some to the plane. Right? In Vegas, me, you, and Christian.
fuck yeah.
Eating some surströmming.
You guys have chopsticks? Caviar?
Oh man, that's so funny too because my hack for flying with Southwest, because Southwest you don't have a seat. It's just you sit. You sit as you walk in.
First come, first serve.
Yeah, exactly.
Really? Damn.
So usually I when I'm traveling by myself, I never check in, so I'm always the last one on the plane. As opposed to being the first person sitting down and you gotta wait for everybody to load. So you're on the plane a lot longer. So I like
you can start
waiting.
eating your surströmming in the meantime.
Oh, nobody will sit next to you.
Oh, that's genius. There you go. That's what I'm gonna do next time.
No, I like doing it when the plane's in turbulence. That way, you're shaking.
Getting surströmming juice and the lady's tit next to you. Sorry, ma'am. You want some?
Some strumming. So I wait, and then I'm always the last one to enter. And then, the planes are always full, so you've got to sit next to somebody, and I'll just sit. They're usually in the front because everybody's always walking to the back, so there's always like an empty seat in the front. It's always between two people, but that way I can sit in the front.
Okay.
And then when it's time to leave, you're the first one off. Last one on, first one off.
Yeah, I'd rather be the first one off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as opposed to sitting in the back, you've got to wait for everybody to grab their luggage.
Like even if you're first, you're still gonna wait in line. Like you're still gonna be there for the same amount of time. I'd rather save my time and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm walking up and I see an empty seat between this lady and her husband, and they're both sitting and they
Oh,
leave
yeah.
this.
Did they have the upside down pineapple necklace?
No, I ask, hey, can I sit there? She tells me, I'm saving it for somebody.
That's not how this works,
And
man.
I'm like, I'm the last guy here. There's nobody.
What the fuck are you waiting for, you fucking liar?
I'm the last one.
Jesus goes in this seat.
I hate to break it to you, but they're not making it. Like, I'm the last guy.
I hate to break it to you, but they're not making it. Well, you're in luck.
I'm like, yeah, you're saving it for me, right? And she's like, no, the plane's not full. You can find another seat.
No, I'm sitting right there.
So I go and I sit right behind her. Because the seat behind her was open.
You didn't put your bare feet next to her on her shoulder.
No, but
rest.
the whole time I'm like, is your friend coming?
You're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Is your friend still coming on?
He kept saying that.
Fuck yeah. Let him know.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's
That's
fucking funny.
right? And then, so as we were getting off, because she was an older lady. So we're getting off the plane and, me and her standing next to each other. And she does not want to make eye contact with me at all. And her husband's kind of nervous, but, I'm not going to say anything to him or like, I'm not saying anything. I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. And I can already tell they're all uncomfortable. So as we're getting off, she has a big piece of luggage on the shelf. And then I ask her, do you want me to get that for you? And she's like, oh, would you mind? And I'm like, well, why don't you have your friend come down?
I think your friend can help you with that one.
Dumb bitch. And then I gave her a fucking shoulder on the way out.
Oh, fuck. You didn't offer any surströmming?
Oh, I would have been perfect. Yeah, so it's cool. I did this tattoo convention in Lake Tahoe, and then it's done at the Harrah's Casino. So, we've been doing a lot of gambling and poker. And,
Nice.
Me and Christian have really been onto the craps lately and YouTubing it. And, I know here's where me and you have another thing we disagree with. And, man, I see it. And I think it's evident on the craps table. I mean, because you kind of see it with poker, right? I mean, you've admitted that some people are more lucky than others, right?
It seems like it sometimes.
It seems like it,
yeah, who really knows?
I mean, we're not taking data. We're not, but it does seem like it, right? And we'll all say, like, if we say some of us are more lucky than others, we all say, yeah, Braves seems to be luckier. Like, everybody will say that, right?
That motherfucker. Out of all the people.
Same with Lucilo, right? A little bit, an edge.
Yeah, I mean, he'll get, like, good rolls, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, 3, 4, 5, 6s in a row? Like, nah. Something's going on here.
And you're still in denial, but I'm gonna break that. I'm gonna break that today. And if I don't break it today, I'm gonna break it when we go to Vegas and just show you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you have to be.
I would love to be proven wrong.
Yeah, for sure. Well, because so I started. I really learned the game. of craps, and this is the first time I really went to the casino. Man, and that's the thing. I know the game in and out, or not. I know most of the game in and out. Like I know my bets. I know what I'm trying to bet. But man, you walk up to the table and you get fucking nervous.
Oh yeah, right.
And I still got nervous. And the first time I played, what threw me off was the minimum was $25 a bet, and I had $200 to bet.
Yeah, for craps, that's brutal.
So they gave me 8 chips, and that's so small. And you put 3, 4 out, and that's like half your stack.
In one hand, right?
One bad roll, and they took it off, and so the nerves got to me. There was some other bets on the table that are not like on my phone, the way we've been playing. So right off the bat, I was nervous, unsure of myself, lost half my stack super quick. And then I'm looking around me, and the people there are in the same boat as me. Like, I can tell they're asking questions. They don't know what they're doing. And I kind of held back and wasn't betting, just seeing what was going on. I should have left, but I stayed. And there was this one lady, and she just looked like bad. Like, I don't know. She just had a bad vibe to her, and like I started betting with her, and like I lost all my money that fast.
Oh man, to that lady?
Well, not to her, but because you're not playing against each other on the table.
Okay, you guys are all playing against the house, I guess.
Against the house, but she was the one rolling the dice, and like really bad experience.
She was what do you call it? The cooler.
The cooler, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Fucking.
So I left with my tail between my legs.
Yeah, they even messaged us how like
whelping like a hurt dog, licking my wounds. Made some money tattooing the first day. So then the second day I wake up early, and I decide, all right, I came here. I'm doing this again. So I came down. Oh, actually, I started playing on the computer.
Okay.
And I was getting the hang of it. Like my bets were landing, but I don't like the fact that a computer is generating the dice.
Yeah, it could be like, it's not really random. Like, who knows if it's really random, right? It could be programmed to do whatever the fuck it wants.
And like me and Christian have been saying, and I know you're kind of on the fence. I mean, you agree with us as far as like a technique to throw the dice. And I'm not saying somebody can tell you like, oh, I'm going to roll a 4 and throw a 4, but maybe their probability of not hitting 7s might be a little higher if you practice it.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it's not, and maybe, from a 50-50 point, maybe it just gives you 60-40 or something.
Yeah, that's already more than enough.
Yeah, so I'm not saying this guy can throw snake eyes at will or nothing, but he can throw the dice so that he has a slight advantage. And with the computer, you're taking that away.
Yeah, exactly. What if it's programmed to hit a 7 every 3 rolls?
Well, yeah, I mean it's dice, and the computer pops them up, so it's real dice, but it's not a computer generated. It's real dice, but they're in a little bubble, and the computer just pops them up, and then they land.
Really? Oh,
yeah, that's what that is.
Almost like that one game where like the dice are in a bubble and you push the bubble.
Yeah, that's the way it's happening. But nobody's throwing them. So I'd rather be at a table with
Trouble or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, it's like Trouble. Yeah. So that's what's happening there. And I'd rather be there at the table.
Yeah, see the ones where like we play like to kind of get the hang of it, or it's straight up computer.
That's straight up
dice.
computer.
That's that's sketchy.
But that's not for real money, so I don't mind.
Yeah.
So then
But if
after
it was, yeah, right.
I gained a little bit of confidence on the dollar machine, I decided to go back. And as I'm just, I'm doing a lot of observing, and
She's the same lady. Fuck.
No, she wasn't there. But there was an older man who knew how to play. I can just tell he had a big stack of chips already. And he knew how to play. He's calling out the right proper terms, and he knows the bets. And so I'm like, all right, this guy knows how to play. And there was like 2 more people, and I can tell they knew how to play. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to jump in with these guys. And I jump in, and I know how to bet. So right away, they see that I'm making the proper bets. I know. So, the vibe on the table was really good. And we just started making money. And my $200 was probably about $700. Like, I made a lot. And yeah, it's going good. And I got my confidence back. I'm seeing everything happen. And then that lady shows up again.
Oh, man.
She comes.
The same lady?
The same lady. Sits right in between.
Sits on my lap.
Sits on my lap. And she starts playing. And right away, it kills the vibe of the table. And sure enough, my $600 gets to like about 400 or 500. I'm losing money. So right away, I call it and I leave too. And if I would have been smart and trusted my gut, I would have left with, an extra 200. But I think I left with 500 that day. So I made up what I lost the first day, and then I was up $100.
Nice.
But I started really just getting the feel of the players around you. And I know the second day, the same thing. The second day was the really hot day. That's when I told you about me hitting the dice with my shoulder. Like, it was fucking nuts, man. We were making like money. And what's so funny too is, I'm gambling with $200, but there's people at the table that have thousands of dollars, and they're playing like $100 chips. And I was hitting 6-8.
Yeah, so their bets don't affect your bets, right?
No. Everybody's betting on their own.
So you could bet $2 and they're betting 1,000.
Yeah, and so I'll win $4 and they win 2,000.
Okay.
If you double your money. So man, when it came time for me to roll, I was making these guys mad money. And same thing, when they started rolling, they were making me money. But I'm only paying with $25 chips, so I'm not making what they're making, but we're all making money. And then there was this guy there, and he was setting up the dice and throwing them the way Christian was talking about.
Like he lines them up and kind of like...
But yeah, he was lining up the 5-2. You hold the dice with these, and then he does like a curl. And that's when I told you,
wrist.
He was throwing them high, and I was on the opposite side. And when the first time he threw it, I thought it was coming at me, and he even made me flinch.
You heard the flincher for the rest of the night?
Yeah, I was the flincher. But no, in all honesty, we were all making money. And it was just the same thing. There was like 4 of us at the table. Another guy comes, and he's making money. And that's when I said, when he threw the dice, one bounced out of the thing, but it kind of hit me. So I blocked it with my shoulder. And as it's in the air,
I'll allow it.
Yeah, he yells at, "It's good," or "It's in play," and it landed as a 6, and that's what we needed.
Fuck
so
yeah.
oh man, the whole table went crazy. That guy gave me the yeah, like he saw what I did. And,
Man, you should like Jordan, his logo's him like dunking, and then Shaq is him. Like you should have your logo as you like bumping just your silhouette of hitting the dice.
So then we're making money, and then you start seeing more people come to the table, and you can kind of tell they don't know how to play, and the vibe starts turning off. And the guy that I told you, like the best guy at the table, and that sounds stupid because it's throwing dice, but the best guy at the table, he left. So then I leave myself too, like, all right, the table, the vibe's changing, so I'm out of here.
If this guy's leaving, I'm leaving.
Yeah, so I left, and I made like $400.
That's not bad.
So, the thing that I'm telling you is I think the vibe people can create can influence the roll of a dice. And you're saying you don't believe it.
I don't. What's up? Yeah, I don't. I don't think we have any. Because to me, that just sounds like some supernatural spooky stuff. Like
It is. And it is. And you can see it. You see it right there being experimented on. Like, or not experimented on, but you can see it happening right in front of you.
Experiment, I guess, right?
Yeah. And last night after Tahoe, I got a shuttle back to Reno. And the same thing, the first thing I do is I want to play poker all night. So I go and sign up for poker. And while I'm waiting, I go to the craps table. And right away, I'm there with this older man, and he knows how to play, and we're making money. And then, the dice is passing around, and there's another guy, and this old man tells me, oh, this guy knows how to throw dice. So right away, he's confirming everything, and this guy's making us money too. And then after him, it goes to a girl, and like, this is just how funny it is. She's honestly in a cast.
And a cat in a wheelchair.
She's in a cast. They give her the dice, and she right away doesn't have confidence, and she even says something like, "Oh, I guess I could try it."
And you already know. This
No,
fucking
I know it,
bitch.
and I didn't leave. I didn't fucking leave because I'm so greedy. No, I am. I'm greedy because I'm winning money and I want to make more. But right there,
What a dick.
I mean, this girl obviously has bad luck because she's in a cast,
Right? She obviously doesn't make good decisions.
right? And she gets the dice, and oh man, I started losing fucking money.
Oh, fucking bitch.
And I pulled out in time. I think I left with even money, but I think that's
could have left with more.
could have left with more. So yeah, that totally comes into play, and there's an experiment by Dean Radin and Roger Nelson, and they have the same theory, and they proved it with a coin flip. They had, coin flip is usually about 50-50. And yeah, of course it's going to sway a little bit, right? But then they had a group of people, and they had everybody focusing on either heads or tails. And then when they do it, it's significantly changing to what they're telling people to focus on.
Like enough to where it's like a...
Yeah, noticeable.
You can see it?
Yeah, you can see it. And it's never, anytime they have people focusing on heads or tail, it's always in that favor. And you can switch it up, and it's always to that favor. And here's where it gets weird. So this guy, Roger Nelson, he thinks maybe it's not people focusing on heads. It's maybe just everybody's attention. So the second experiment he does is they make a number generator. And it's generating random numbers. And they have a group of people come in, and they just want everybody to meditate. They have a lot of people in the room meditating, and these people have no idea that there's a number generator happening.
Okay.
But everybody is in the same headspace. They all have their same attention in that room. And without understanding the experiment of the number generator, these people are influencing the way the computer's running.
What?
And so this guy has another thought, and he thinks the O.J. Simpson verdict is coming up in a couple of weeks. No.
Okay.
Laugh at me now, man. Laugh at me now.
Okay.
So he tells Dean Radin and Roger Nelson, they're telling each other, everybody's going to be tuned in to this O.J. Simpson trial. Correct?
And we all think the glove doesn't fit.
Right?
The glove doesn't
No.
fit.
But it doesn't even have to be that. It doesn't even have to be what they're thinking. All that matters is everybody around the world is
focusing on it.
Focused on something together. So these guys have these number generators around the world. And as the verdict is getting closer, these generators are starting to be influenced as it was in the room with these people meditating. And the peak of the verdict is the number generators are all on point with each other. And then as the verdict happens and starts disappearing and people start losing interest,
the numbers start changing.
going back to normal.
I've never seen this. I gotta see this.
Yeah, I'll show it to
Interesting.
you. Yeah. So then, okay, that's coincidence, whatever. That's what you're going to say, right? We all know you. That's coincidence.
We all know what you're gonna fucking say.
So then this guy starts thinking, all right, Princess Diana just passed away. Her funeral's coming up. They turn on these number generators again. And sure enough, it all happens again. And then it dissipates. Same thing for 9/11. 9/11 goes on, and these guys look at their generators, and it's happening. And so now these guys have these number generators just happening all the time now. It's just 24 hours a day, number generators are happening, and anytime something worldwide, whether it's a tsunami or any kind of world event happens,
You kind of get like lined up.
they get lined up and it fucking spreads out.
Damn, we should try that here. We should get some number generators and.
Yeah, I mean, these
anytime something
guys are.
interesting happens.
So I mean, the only thing you can say is these guys are lying. That's the only thing you can say. But I mean, these guys have the. You know, they're running that experiment, and so their thing is like some kind of unity consciousness or whatever.
But why would the? It's interesting.
So yeah, so these guys aren't even saying you have to think heads or tails. He's just saying all
When
of us.
everyone's together, it influences like physical.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And they start breaking it down to like, yeah, molecular. We're all made of the same thing. We're all like, you know, we're all in tune, and it, you know, and it shows it in this number generator. And like I've said, I've seen it at a really small scale I've seen it on the craps table. I've seen it like, you know, and it's such a small scale because there's, you know, 9-10 people on there, and it's not like it's happening a lot, but you do see it in your favor. Like I'm saying, I was at the craps table 6 times, 6 different games I played.
And you noticed it every time.
I noticed it every time. The first time, the vibes were not good, and I lost my money. The other 6 times, I waited to find the right table. And I never played at night when everybody was drunk and loud and like, you know, that vibe's in there, the party vibe.
Yeah.
I never played at night, even though there were good players at the table. But I just thought there was just too many people
Not on the same level.
not on the same level. And maybe they could get on that level, especially if they are drinking too. I can see being all drunk and everybody kind of cheering, but I just never felt comfortable. I was playing in the morning when it was dead, and there were like serious players on the board or on the table.
Anyone there at 7:30 is for real about their.
6:30. No, it's usually about 11. But and it could be too that they were better dice throwers. Like, I mean, I know you don't believe, or I mean, I guess you do agree that, you know, a little bit of a trick of the dice.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and I agree, a little bit, not much. But yeah, I saw it 6 times, and when the vibes were good, I was making money, and I saw it when it changed, and those times I stayed on, and I started losing money, and I did pull out ahead. But, you know, I think if I would have been smarter like these other guys, I would have left with more money. And that's, you know, just such a small scale, but it's definitely happening. And then just seeing that this experiment has been proven is, you know, really interesting.
I mean, that's for sure. That's interesting, and I gotta look into that. And I gotta say, I'm not fully convinced. Obviously.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
I know, of course you're not. You fucking. No, but yeah, I mean, guess we'll have to find out. I
What?
should get a hidden camera and record every time we play, and
Or even just look up this experiment and
see, because I can see that experiment happening, and they could do it. But I think what will really prove it to me, kind of, is if it was reproduced multiple times.
Yeah, it's the Global
The Global
Consciousness
Consciousness Project is an evolutionary step out of
And I
50
don't believe
years
him
of
just because
prior
he's bald with
experiments.
glasses.
Not my first thought. Wait a minute.
Mind and matter, and specifically
the white
intention
Renee.
and the behavior of the physical world.
He does have a sick
And it all
mustache.
devolves back into the question
does
of what
look
is the
pretty
role
cool.
of mind in the physical world. From a Western science point of view, there isn't much. I mean, I as a designer of a car, can get an internal image and an intention to build a car, and eventually a car appears. But that's not a direct link. It requires a lot of work between the intention and the building of a car. But this question is saying more that, is there a direct link between one's intention and the behavior of the world? But an unmediated link, or if mediated, we don't know by what yet. Well, those experiments typically would use very sensitive physical systems, and then you would ask somebody to direct their intention at it and try to push the system around, make it do this versus that. So a prototype example is flip a coin and wish for heads, and now flip a coin, wish for tails. And you can do that experiment, and it has been done many times. And what you see after loads of data is that the statistics of the system that you're working with are biased. in the direction that you want the intention to go. So coins
know,
are
man.
an okay system to work with, but
I don't like
as
his glasses.
mechanical things are very difficult to track.
Well, the lack of hair seems kind of fucked up.
So electronic
brains,
circuits.
that shows you.
It has no room for
Where it
hair.
gave the equivalent of coin
It's got
flipping, only it
brains.
was flipping bits, random bits. And it could produce bits very quickly, and all of the bits could be recorded precisely. And so you could do an experiment where you have a random number generator going, and you ask somebody to mentally force it to create more ones and zeros. And then now create more zeros and ones, and now let the thing run all by itself as a calibration condition. And what you find after very long period studies like this and meta-analyses looking at many studies by many different people, that there are biases that show up in the randomness. The systems that should be random are no longer behaving randomly. So that's about 50 years worth of study.
50 years.
And in the 1990s, Roger Nelson at Princeton
You're not even
got the idea that
30s,
maybe
Princeton.
intention was only a maybe
You're missing all these key words here, right?
But the act of attending, which when we think of internally, attending is a kind of coherent mental state. You're focusing in on one thing. And if we can think of that as not simply being in your head, but being out there as well, then when you attend to something, it changes. And it changes in the direction of coherence. So if the target of your attention is randomness, then a cohered random system is, by definition, more orderly, becomes ordered. And so you can detect that order through statistics easily. So he started doing experiments where he'd take a random number generator, electronic circuit, and put it in the vicinity of a group that was meditating, thinking that this would create a large amount of coherent attention. Sometimes people knew the random generator was there, and sometimes they didn't know. And he wanted to see whether the randomness would become orderly during the meditation. And after hundreds of such tests by Roger and me and a bunch of our colleagues, we came to the conclusion that it does become less random in a context where we can infer that there's mental coherence going on. Sometimes due only to attention. So I think it was 1994, I did an experiment before, during, and after the announcement of the O.J. Simpson verdict in his murder trial. And this was a unique period in
knew he
history,
was
in
lying.
that it was the first time that I'm aware of, in modern time anyway, first time where there's actually one other I can think of, which was landing on the moon. But a first
We know we didn't land on
instance
the moon,
where
but-
hundreds of millions of people around the world knew that something interesting was going to happen at a stroke of a couple of seconds in the future. It was a reading of a verdict which would either say guilty or not guilty. And so imagine the amount of attention that's slowly focusing up to that moment. I figured this would make a great experiment because I could have a whole bunch of random number generators going, and we can look in time sequence what is happening to the randomness as we approach the moment of announcement of the verdict, where we have maybe 1 billion people
You sweating
paying
over there?
attention to it.
You're looking a little hot over there, Zed.
Your lips shaky.
4 in the U.S.
No,
1 in Europe,
man, I don't know.
and track what was happening to the randomness as we got closer and closer to the verdict and the verdict being read and afterwards. And we found very clear evidence that there was a sudden peak in order in the random generators within seconds of the verdict being read. And of course, it was being read live and carried around the world on radio and television all over the place. So it was a live event worldwide. So so Roger and I and a few colleagues were discussing this. We later had another instance where Princess Diana was killed in a car crash, and her funeral was scheduled a week in advance. So we figured we can use that as another example of lots of attention around the world for one event. And we got, I think, 12 of us around the world got our random number generators going, and we analyzed the result. And again, was significant deviation from randomness towards order during the period of the funeral, when lots of people were watching. And we thought, well, this is great. This is an interesting experiment, but we had to go through a lot of work to get everybody to participate at the same time. So we decided to create a system that would be completely automatically running 24/7 with random number generators located in places around the world. So today, as of today, the project is going for 10 years. There's roughly 70 random generators in cities around the world, and it's
Does
been
have a
running
nice
for
mustache.
pretty much
I don't know.
continuously.
But everything you were saying, I mean, they did, right? Like, I think as a scientist, you see the flaws and you test them, right?
It's interesting. I want to see it.
I want to see his PhD.
What elementary did he go to? I want to see his report card. God damn it.